like J.Brock, cause I can score with a second on the clock. No bank account, I put money in my sock.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy J.Brock. It's Clapitup LA. I'm right here with none other than Khalil Tate. I mean, this right here is history right there. This dude is in all type of history books. And check this out. He is a phenomenal QB athlete, a FBS record holder. This man has made history. I couldn't turn on ESPN without hearing Khalil's Tate name for a hot minute. And current Philadelphia Eagle. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm doing blessed. I'm so glad that we're able to sit down together and get into this good game, because you know it's always good game on Clapitup LA.
Always.
Now check this out. You come from a line of athletes.
Right.
Your grandpa played at Prairie View A&M.
Yeah.
You have a cousin who went to UCLA, which made him a UCLA fan. Because I know when you grow up in LA, you don't typically become a UCLA fan. You typically go USC, but he was a UCLA fan. Okay, but your cousin also went to the NFL. Your big bro Khalil played for Sarah, and your grandma, I don't want to say this name wrong, Uma,
yeah, there you go.
Uma,
yeah, there you go.
She was a pitcher, and in softball. In which you give your grandma a lot of credit for your beginning of playing football and starting to play football. Now, how old were you when you began to realize this is what I want to do?
I would say I realized that I wanted to play football. I mean, I grew up playing everything.
Okay.
So growing up, I played soccer.
You played ball. You played
football,
basketball,
baseball. I played everything, you know, just because as a young kid, you want to play everything. Or I appreciate that I played everything because it gave me a chance to see what I like. You know, because I feel like some parents, they'll probably put their kid in one thing, and it's like, what if you don't like it?
You
know what I'm saying?
Like,
you don't give them that chance to venture out. So I played everything growing up, and you know, soccer helped me a lot with footwork. What a lot of people don't know. That's the main thing you need in soccer.
Yeah, that's all they do.
So playing soccer helped me a lot at a young age, because then, you know, playing football kind of became natural, because now all you do is got a football. You got a football in your hand now.
Dang, so how long did you play soccer?
A few years, but those few years meant a lot. Like it was like those kid years. You know what I'm saying? Like when you still trying to figure out how you run, how you walk. Like so to have feet work back then. That's
definitely.
Like, okay.
To even know that feet work was important, because I didn't really understand how important feet work was until I got to college. But then again, I played line.
Okay.
So for guys like you, quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, y'all kind of understand it on a different level.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because your job is to get away from somebody, or if you're on defense, is to stop somebody. So. You can't just be running super crazy like you on the playground. You're not going to get nobody. So you got to have footwork with that.
Right. Okay, so your very first year of football, you did not play quarterback. You played defensive end.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many years was it before you finally got to play quarterback? And how many times had you been put there and like, okay, until quarterback was finally like, this is what he does? Yeah.
Well, my first year, like you said, I played defensive end. I played really everything, linebacker.
Okay.
I probably played O-line, honestly. I didn't play quarterback. As a kid, the best kid play. Some coaches don't know what they're doing also at that young age. So I played everything my first year. My second year, my dad, Brian Tate, he became a coach.
Okay.
Because he saw that like I should probably be playing something else. So, you know,
okay. Pop stepped up.
I'm a coach now. You know, like everybody a coach. So, So he started coaching, and then I played quarterback then, but I was flag. So you still don't really have, you know, in flag it's not really it's football, but it's not really, you know, what it is in high school and college, etc. So after that first year, I played quarterback. My second year, and I ended up playing with another coach that didn't really treat me too right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that second year, I ended up getting with Coach Bass, Gary Bass, who coached at Inglewood High at the time. Okay. And that's when I, you know, first started playing quarterback really, and that's when I really got into, you know, being a quarterback.
Oh yeah, and not only was he a quarterback, he'd run you over too if you tried to run up on him. You know what I'm saying? Khalil Tate was a bull out there, young man. Don't ever get that twisted. He gonna dip that shoulder on you. Now, watching your highlight tape as a kid, you know, with the Inglewood Jets, they didn't play against us, but you know, it's all good.
What team was that?
I played for the Demos.
LA Demo. Okay.
LA Demo. Okay, he know about them. That's right. You know what I'm saying? But no. Playing with the Jets, you can tell you really had a cannon. And like I said, you were dipping on people. You would dip on people, outrun everybody. You were shaking people. And as a kid, you say Donovan McNabb was your favorite quarterback. What did you like about Donovan McNabb? And did you ever try to imitate anything that he did?
I would say growing up, so I had a fat head of Donovan McNabb. And I think fat heads became a thing like around the mid 2000s, and that's when I first started like getting into tackle football, I think. Yeah. But I really liked them mainly because, you know, I played for Inglewood Jets, so we wore green.
Green, okay, gotcha. Green and black, right?
The Eagles wore green. Yeah. So that kind of like it was cliche, like, all right, they wear green. He played quarterback. Right. I play quarterback, I wear green. Yeah. And he African American. You know, like Donovan McNabb, like that's the one for me. So that's why, you know, that's how I grew up, you know, kind of having that love for Donovan McNabb, and, you know, he was the first. I mean, for me, he was the first African American quarterback I saw. Oh, okay. You know, I think he came out before he came out
Michael before Vick, yeah. But like before him, it was like Dante Culpepper.
And with them, I was too young, so I was 2, 3 years old. I didn't really know anything. So my first introduction to, you know, African American quarterback was Donovan McNabb.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And you know, Donovan McNabb was a GOAT. He wasn't just as fast as Vic, but Donovan McNabb did his thing. Now I got to take a moment to shout out our sponsor, my brother, my barber, my boy, Melly Mel. We sitting right here in the Uncut Lounge where Melly Mel does his famous butter fade. And check this out, all you gotta do to book your next cut is go to @Melrose Uncut, spelled with 2 N's and 2 T's on Instagram. Click that link in that bio, pick exactly what time and dates you want your haircut, and guess what? You ain't gotta worry about parking. Melly Mel got that situated for you. So when it's time for you to get that cut, you park up and you go straight to the chair and let Melly Mel work his magic. Again, @Melrose Uncut, spelled with 2 N's and 2 T's. I don't know why you sitting here waiting. Go ahead and book your cut right now and let Melly Mel work his magic. Yeah, let's get it just like that. Now, your older cousin Manuel White went to UCLA and was a 4th-round draft pick in 2005. You were there for his games at UCLA. You experienced the tailgating. How much did this inspire you to want to play college football and really be able to ball at that level?
I would say, you know, it means a lot. You know, growing up, whatever you like, you know, it's always a blessing to see somebody that you know personally doing it. So, you know, like I said, going up to tailgates, being a young kid, you don't know what that is. You know, when you first go, it's kind of just like you see a lot of people. You know, you're going for a football game, but it's a lot of people. So that camaraderie that brought together the family kind of like inspired me to like think like, okay, like, you know, when I get a certain age, this would be a cool thing to do. You know, so that he definitely, you know, he set the bar for me, and he helped me out a lot, and, you know, really just trailblazing. You know, so that definitely helped me out a lot.
Did you realize how big that was at that time?
I didn't. Like I said, I was a kid. Like I said, my whole thing is, since I've been a kid, I've always like lived in my year. Like I've never like thought, like even when I was younger, I never was like, I can't wait to get to college. Like I never. I was a kid. You know, like a kid, you know, deserves to be a kid. So I was always like, this is just, I'm having fun. I'm running around with the other kids that's I don't know, just having fun. I'm like, dang, this is a cool experience. Right. We're brought together from college football. So
I can feel that, and I know one thing I remember about the tailgates is the smell of barbecue smoke all in the air. That barbecue smoke was literally everywhere.
Cuts and bruises.
In fact. Now in middle school, you were able to do some practicing with your brother 7-on-7 team.
Air show.
And you were out there throwing 70-yard passes. Now that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? You still a baby, basically fresh out of Pop Warner. There were for sure a lot of high school QBs I didn't know or even saw throwing 70-yard balls. Was there any other high school coaches that tried to recruit you, recognizing the type of athletic ability that you possess? Because you won 4 Super Bowls as a Pop Warner player. I mean, like I said, you got to go onto YouTube and check out that boy's Pop Warner highlight tape. He going crazy. So was there any other coaches that tried to take their shot at you?
I want to say back then it wasn't too much recruiting going on, but I did see the page turning with that recruiting process. So like, I think the kids after me, they were the ones that were like really getting recruited. But when I was in Pop Warner, one of the coaches on my staff, Coach Khalil, he was a coach at St. John Bosco at the time. Okay. And that's the time they had Keith Price. Black quarterback. So he didn't recruit me because he knew like I wasn't going there because my dad graduated from Sarah. So he knew kind of like he would be trying to, competition was from Sarah, and then my head coach Gary Bass was at Inglewood High. So it was he knew that, you know, Bosco probably wouldn't, you know, all boys school. That probably wouldn't be the move that I wanted to do. So, but he recruited some players that was on my team, and they ended up going there and they had a really good career. So
okay, that's good. Now, when you go to Sarah, you said you played freshman, you played JV, you played
it all.
So
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so ain't nothing wrong with that. So what was that experience like for you? You know, playing at that level, and you know, how much did you enjoy it, and how excited were you to finally be able to play VAR?
Like I said, it was fun. I mean, for me, like I said, just really embracing every situation I've ever been in. Playing freshman was fun. Playing JV was fun. Playing varsity was fun. Playing all those different things. Because I feel like if I'd have just went straight to varsity, it'd have been too serious, too much. I'm a kid.
Fast, huh? Yeah,
I'm a kid.
Yeah,
you know, I do want to be a kid too. You know, because my life is more than just football. You know, so playing freshman helped a lot because I just got to be a freshman, got to play at 3 o'clock. You know, playing JV.
Facts.
You know, like those are experiences that you can't get back if you just play varsity. So I definitely appreciate those experiences because it was helpful for my, you know, development, and it was also humbling. You know, just like I said, it's okay to do it. You know, it's okay to be on freshman or JV. It's not like not like your life or your career over. Like it's. I mean, back then it was normal. You know, not to do that. So I definitely am appreciative of those situations.
Okay, because I know even for my situation, I played JV, me, Black Mamba, Marquise Thompson, Marcus Martin. We played JV, but come playoff time, we went up to varsity. And I was one of the JV players that actually went up to varsity on my first day of practice and became a starter. I became a starter. I mean, Coach Garrett took his hat off, stopped the entire practice. This boy is starting come Friday. I don't care if I'm in the hospital bed, I swear to you. Now speaking football terminology, in football years, because you only became a starter midway through your junior season, right? Before we get into the accolades, do you remember the moment when you were named the starter, and how excited were you to be that #1 guy now?
I can't remember the exact date or the situation that I was named starter, but I do remember what game was it? I think it was after we played Bishop Mott. We had lost to him. And, you know, the team was, you know, our morale was kind of just like, you know, we can't keep doing this. Because me and Caleb Wilson were switching back and forth. And it's always going to be hard for a team to you know, get going when you got two different people
because
going back and forth.
Warm and you take
know what I'm saying? So it was tough. So after that game, I forgot who we played, but we ended up, Caleb ended up moving to tight end. And he ended up having a monster career at Sarah, went to UCLA, got drafted. Now he's with the Eagles. So he ended up, you know, it ended up working out for him. So it was definitely a situation that we at the time you kind of don't think about it, but it's like in hindsight, as long as you just keep going, it's all gonna work out.
Now let me tell you this, y'all. This dude has been doing exactly what you know him for his entire life. Now, your junior season, you finished off with 2,682 all-purpose yards and 17 total touchdowns. Of this 2,600 all-purpose yards, 1,287 was rushing and 1,395 was passing. When you look at the stats from that season, people were lucky to stop you. They couldn't stop you from doing one or the other, and if they weren't lucky, you was just gonna do both of them on. Now, they couldn't stop you from rushing for 100 yards a game. If you did not get that on the ground, you for sure made the teams pay, like Crespi. They had to pay through the air. Corona Centennial got it all. They got every bit that he could give them. All right, now, this is all legendary. This is legendary, okay? And this is what you've always done. Did you work at all on being such a talent like this? Well, I guess, like you said, soccer actually played a part in you being such an athletic, you know what I'm saying, talent. How much of this would you say actually came natural to you?
I want to say everything came natural in the humblest way. I mean, it was in high school. It just was kind of easy for me. You know, like you said, it's hard in high school football. You know, like it's hard to stop a quarterback that could pass and run.
Man,
that's the hardest thing to do. So any team that has that, they're gonna have the upper hand 9 times out of 10 because it's just so hard. You trying to stop somebody from passing and running. That's like you can't account for that. You know, you gotta have a spy, but that's your team got to be real advanced. So it's super tough. So it was definitely something that I worked at in high school. You know, like I said, I think it was a lot of raw, natural given talent that I kind of just used, and then, you know, as I got to college, I kind of understood that I kind of got to put more work in.
Definitely. I think a lot of athletes realize that, and sometimes it's kind of too late because specifically for me, I was a natural talent, but I didn't really understand how much better I could have gotten until I got to high school, because it's that extra work. Now, through the years of football, football has evolved. You know, speaking to QBs, they weren't necessarily expected to be the most athletic players on the field. Right. You know what I'm saying? But then you have the Michael Vicks, the Donovan McNabbs, Dante Culpeppers, Deshaun Watsons, the Murrays, you know, guys who can do it all. And coming from your perspective, when let's take it to where we going on the field, we call the play, we in the huddle, you snap the ball. What makes Khalil Tate decide whether he's going to run or pass?
I mean, well, the play. You know, it starts off with the play. You know, if it's a pass play, of course you want to go through your reads. Or pre-snap, you want to, you know, see what the defense is in. You know, as the ball is snapped, you want to, you know, see how they move. You know, what safety comes down, what backer goes, what corner does. And you know, if that's not there, it's okay for you to run. You know, because that's what you want to be able to have that that access to do that. So it helps to be able to have that, because, like I said, you can't account for that all the time. You would have to have a spy, and I mean, your team would have to be super advanced to be able to even stop that. So it's definitely, you know, I think it's a great asset to have. You know, just because you can't account for it as a defense.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you gave a lot of coaches headaches, and there's a whole lot of coaches that say things like, I'm glad we didn't have to play against him. I don't think I played against a quarterback as great as you. No. I mean, Jesse, like I played against Jesse Scroggs, was hard, but he wasn't necessarily a runner. Like, I don't think we ever dealt with that. Like, we had to deal with that. So your first offer would actually come after your sophomore season. Then your junior year led to offers from all over the country: Nebraska, SC, UCLA, Texas A&M, Kansas, Boise, Washington State, San Jose, Cal, Florida State, Arizona, of course. How was the recruiting process for you? And did it seem like your offers came fast? Did you ever feel like you were overwhelmed?
I want to say my recruiting process started kind of slow.
Okay.
I felt like I was always a pretty good player, and I felt like, you know, I could have got offered before, but it didn't happen. I wanted to see more, which I ended up showing more. And my recruiting process, it was interesting, you know, because, like, you know, a lot of teams, different schools wanted me at different positions. So that's what kind of made my decision making and where I wanted to go easier, because I know in high school I kind of wrote down like the different teams. So, like, you know, I had a category, I had a slot of like QB, and then I had like athlete. I didn't want to be an athlete, so all the teams I wrote that was an athlete, that was X'd off, you know. So I definitely just looked at, you know, who I wanted to be. Who I wanted to play quarterback for. And I think I ended up having like a top 6. I had Boise State, Nebraska, USC, UCLA, of course, you know, being out here, Florida State, and I think Texas A&M. So those were teams that, you know, kind of pushed, you know, for quarterback. So that's why I kind of, it was relatively, it was easy in a sense, because like I said, it was a lot of offers, but it was like, okay, they want me at quarterback. So it made my decision pretty easy.
So how much do you feel that the fact that, you know, you felt like, man, I should have been offered, how much of that do you feel allowed you to like go harder and want to be better? Because you got to use that in order to add to fuel to your fire, you know what I'm saying?
It helped me a lot, you know, just being that, you know, going to off-season camps and stuff, you know, seeing the guys that did have the offers, and me thinking to myself, like, I'm better than him. You know, like, you know, everybody get that feeling, so it's like just seeing that and knowing that, you know, they got the offer and I didn't. And me knowing deep down that I could probably be better than him, it kind of fueled me to, you know, even go harder. Like you said, my junior year and then my senior year, I ended up, you know, really
went stupid, went retarded, and we about to get into that. Boy, he went crazy. Now, this is before your senior year, okay? So you got these offers before your senior year. So you ended up committing to Arizona in March 2015. And we know ultimately Arizona wanted you to play quarterback. And your situation, I find, similar to Lamar Jackson. Oh, he should play running back. Oh, he should play receiver. But you were adamant about playing QB. From your point of view, what makes playing quarterback so important to you?
I mean, it means a lot. You know, you get the power. You know, I think as a people, we don't have a lot of power already. So when you got a quarterback that has that power, it means a lot. You know, because like you see Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, they got power. You know, whether people want to believe it or not.
They stood up.
Exactly. So them having power is kind of like, it means a lot. You know, because you run everything, and then, you know, it definitely is. When you do well, it means a lot, because you know, it inspires the next person to, you know, let me be a quarterback. So I definitely think it's helping a lot of people out, and, you know, just trying to grind through it and have tunnel vision on, you know, just sticking with quarterback. Cause a lot of people gonna try to take the switch young. Like a lot of people tried to tell me to switch when I was young, but it was like.
Were you ever like discouraged by them saying that, or did it ever like bother you?
Not even. Like I said, I've always been in the moment type of kid, so I was always just listening to it like why? Like why would I? If I'm having success, why would I switch? You know, it's not like I'm doing bad and like, yeah, you should switch, bro. It's like I'm doing good. Why would I switch? You know, so that kind of just kept me tunnel visioning and made sure that I kept going forward. Cause if I'm having success, don't, you know, if
don't fix it, right?
Just keep it the same. So it definitely that gave me more courage. Like I'm having success and y'all still like, nah, you shouldn't. Like what? That don't make sense to me. So that's what kept me going and made me, you know, just kind of, you know, have a bigger chip on my shoulder. Like how y'all like, what is the mindset with you people? You know, like how do you think like that? Like. If somebody's having success, like, you know, let them be.
Yeah.
Let them rock out. You know.
Facts. Yeah, I definitely understand that. We gotta shout out my boys at Meta-Ray Athletics. By the way, you get free training if you tap into Meta-Ray Athletics. My boy Donnie Bills over there working with guys from Pop Warner all the way to the NFL level. He got good game for you, master footwork king, all that. He gonna get you right. So we got to get into this. His senior year, 4,000 all-purpose yards and 43 touchdowns. Monster. This is crazy. And now to be exact, you get 2,100 yards on the ground and you get 2,036 through the air. You are the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? And this came with a long list of accolades. Number 10 dual threat quarterback by ESPN, LA Times QB of the year, #1 rated athlete coming out of California, according to Scout.com. You're an All-American, a 4-star recruit. Now, with so much success at this point, in time of your career, along with the accolades, it's easy to allow these things to get to your head and distract us from doing what we need to do in order to be big, you know, in order to be the best that we could be. Now, how did you stop this from allowing you to get too big-headed? And how did you continue to do what you need to do and not fall off? Yeah,
I mean, well, you know, it's tough. You know, whenever anybody get instant success, it's like,
that wasn't instant though. That wasn't. I mean, it may seem like it was instant, bro. You said you worked for this.
I worked for it. I'm saying, like, as far as the perception of like everybody, you know, gonna think it happened overnight. So just speaking from that aspect, it's always gonna be tough. You know, just because it's new to you. You know, you got people that's like, oh, where you going to school at? Like, you know, you're a kid still. You know, like I said, I've always been the type of kid to live in the moment. So I'm still in high school. I'm still bridge events. You know, I'm not worried about. I wasn't super worried about like the future. You know, I was worrying about today, tomorrow, this week. You know, so I think that kind of helped me stay grounded. You know, that kind of helped me that helped me have fun.
Yeah, okay.
That helped me not, you know, go through it mentally like, what am I gonna do? How do I was just relaxed. Like, you know, I'm hanging out. You know, I'm doing regular things like that's what kind of kept me sane. You know, I think a lot of people they go different routes. You know, a lot of people kind of like dedicated so much to football that. You know, you lose sight of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You're so locked into like what you want to do. You don't think of like fun, because life is supposed to be fun, right? It's supposed to be all business.
Supposed to enjoy it. Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you're young like that. So it was definitely something that, you know, I embraced, and I wanted to make sure that I was having fun.
Okay, I understand that. Now, you were able to graduate early and head to Arizona.
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference you noticed from Pop Warner to high school to being on the biggest collegiate stage there is when you finally stepped on campus and got into practice and got into the filming sessions? What was the biggest difference that you noticed?
I would say I understood that it was a job at that point. That's when I realized it's a job. You know, it's not, you know, it's about athletic ability, but it's also about like being mature in order to succeed.
And you were only 17.
I had turned 17 in October, my senior year. And then I turned 17 October 23rd.
Oh, so this makes even more sense. So
in January, I was out there. Yeah. So I was 4 months or 3 or 4 months from 17, and now I'm in college.
I mean, you baby. You was a baby.
I'm a kid. Yeah. I'm literally a kid. Yeah. So it was a culture shock. You know, my first semester just being out there. You know, I did my first spring ball, and that went okay, but I was young still. Like, I was a kid. Yeah. You know,
were you the youngest player on that team?
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. I went through growing pains as anybody would, because you know I was super young.
Yeah.
I was 17, so I got players on my team that's 24, 25.
On me, grown man, for real, yeah.
and I'm young, so, and they always see me, and I'm joking and stuff. They like looking like he playing around too much, and I'm a kid though, so it's kind of like, even though you wouldn't want that 17-year-old to do that, it's like, what do you expect?
Yeah, man, you 17. That's crazy.
Fresh 17.
That's crazy. Now, you hear about guys who graduate high school early. How do you graduate high school early?
Well, you got to talk to your school.
Okay.
Your school has to allow it first, and you got to take a massive load of like credits in the summer.
Massive.
So it's definitely something that a lot of kids are doing nowadays, and I think they have like programs for it. But like when I was doing it, you have to like basically that summer going into your senior year, you planning for everything, have fun. I was like doing summer school online stuff.
Locked in.
Right, because I had to in order to graduate. So it was a lot. That part taught me discipline though. Being that young, just having it's summertime. Yeah. And I'm at home.
Yeah, facts.
Willingly though. Like it's not like I failed a class and I gotta do this. I'm taking it because I wanna, further my education and, go to college. So
That's crazy. That's crazy that you said that, because it takes a lot of maturity. Like you said, at that age, you learn the maturity, the discipline. But that's the stuff that ultimately leads you to be who you got to be for this world and whatever you got going on. Now, you're 17 years old, a true freshman. Yeah. You make your first collegiate start against USC, and you're the first true freshman to start for AZ since the year of 2005 at quarterback. Yeah. Right. What was the feeling like taking that first snap? I'm talking about during your very first game against none other than SC. Right. What was going through your head when you were able to do that? Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, I wasn't ready. I was.
A lot of people can't admit that they weren't
I was
ready.
supposed to redshirt that year, which is not an excuse, but I was supposed to redshirt that year, and I ended up not. So I think the week before that, I think our starter ended up getting hurt, and I was supposed to start, and so I was confident enough to start, but I didn't know a lot of the playbook. I just got there. like I said, when I was 17, I was a kid, so that whole spring ball, I'm kind of like being a kid, So I did what I could. I think it was maybe like 7-7. And then they ended up like blowing us out. They ended up putting maybe like 40 or 50 on us. Yeah. So it didn't go well. But I wasn't ready though.
But you had some of your older bros who was like, you good, bro. Just,
I did. But it all starts with the quarterback.
Yeah. Dang.
17. So it's kind of like being the quarterback. I don't have that luxury of being able to have somebody else pick me up. I got to be the one.
You got to grow up fast.
Exactly.
Dang. So, and you got to lead these 6'6", 350-pound offensive linemen.
I got to lead 24-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm
facts.
17.
Ooh, that's crazy. Do you feel like you had some type of pressure on you? It wasn't nobody around that was kind of like, okay, just work with him. We know he young. It wasn't nobody that tried to make it easier for you?
Not really. Like I said, I was so young and I was naive. So and the coaching staff knew that. They knew that I wasn't supposed to be playing. I was supposed to redshirt. They mindset the whole time wasn't like, let's keep working with him this year. It was like business. It was like, all right, he's gonna redshirt, so we kind of just working with the people we got. So when I did have to play, it kind of turned into like, oh wow, we gotta teach him something. But it kind of was too late because now I'm in the game. So I'm in the game now.
Goodness gracious.
It's it ain't stopping. So
and so that was your first time. The big crowd. You know what I'm saying? The big old crowds. How was that any type of distraction, knowing all them people out there screaming and yelling?
That wasn't a distraction. I would say playing against SC.
Yeah,
that may have been one. Just because, like I said, going to Sarah, a lot of my
Adoree was on that team, wasn't he?
Okay. Yeah, a lot of my friends were on that team. Yeah. So
Jalen Green.
Yeah, a lot of my friends were on the team. So it kind of was. It was about football, but it was more like, dang, I'm playing against
I'm playing against these,
and I'm not ready though. So it's like, dang, what can I do? So it was definitely an experience that I'll never forget. I remember it was super hot. It was maybe like 111 or something that day, and OD for no reason. Hot, it's my first start. First start, 111. Like it's a lot. It was a lot of different things going on. Yeah, that's a different animal, especially that.
I could imagine the nerves. Because you were quarterback, because I played defensive tackle. I remember not my first start, but getting in the game for the very first time at the collegiate level. We played against Tuskegee, bro. Right. And after the play, I felt like I lost my virginity again. Seriously, I swear, I thought to myself, I gotta make a play right now. So as soon as they hiked the ball, I said, I don't care if I jump off sides. I'm firing off the ball. I fired off the ball, blew the whole play up. So that felt good.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It was like a new me, like a new beginning.
Right.
So now your sophomore year, you make history, okay? And you did not begin the season as a starter, but you ended the season with the starting job.
Right.
And all over the record books. Now, prior to the Colorado game, in which you rushed for the most yards ever by a quarterback, and you went 12 for 13 for 154 yards through the air, okay? But you make FBS history, okay? Now, prior to this, what made you so confident in which you were ready to play and feeling like when they put me in, they ain't gonna take me out?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the week before that, so I wasn't starting like that, the few games before that. And the week before that, we had a bye week. In our school, I played against Chaminade High School. So I went home for the bye week. I was watching the game, and then after the game, I was talking to my high school coach, Scott Altenberg, and he was just talking to me like, how's everything going? And I was just telling him like I'm not happy. Like anybody, that feels like they should be playing wouldn't be. I told him like I wasn't happy. And he was like, what are you gonna do? And I told him like if they put me in, they're not gonna take me out. And that was the week before. So that was the bye week. And then the Colorado week came. And I don't know, for some reason, I was just super locked into the game. Like all the games before that, I was kind of like, I was locked in, but I was kind of lackadaisical. But this game, I was really like, just really watching. And then Brandon Dawkins, he got hurt. And I kind of was, like my life flashed before my eyes, like, wait, like.
Here it go again.
like, oh, this is about to happen. Like, and it was crazy, like I said, because I put a lot into just watching that game, which I hadn't done before. So I'm thinking like maybe if I would have just been doing that all season, I probably would have played sooner, So it's just, it was like, like a God thing.
Right.
Just making sure that, me being so locked in, things kind of, happen how they happen.
You were ready for it.
Right.
Because like you said, your freshman year, you weren't even ready for it. You wasn't even locked in like that. But this time around, you said, this is what I want to do, and they ain't going to take me out.
Right.
That's the thing. You spoke that into existence.
Right.
And then when it happened, you exploded. You went crazy. You went stupid. You went retarded. All the crazy words you can think of, he did that. The man played like his head was on fire. Simple and plain. Now, that game, he ended up rushing for 327 yards. That's the most ever from a QB in FBS history. He outrushed Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson, Marcus Mariota, everybody you can think about. He outdid him. Right there. Now, history continues throughout this season. You became the first player in Pac-12 history to win Offensive Player of the Week 4 consecutive weeks. We're going to clap it up to that. Clap it up to that. Big accolades. Now, in October, you rushed for 865 yards, which hadn't been done in a decade.
Yeah.
And you had a brand and merch. You see, you got it on right there, Mr. October College Football. And then why I said, it makes sense is because his birthday is in October. So he went stupid in the month of October, and his birthday is in October. What better way to celebrate it like that? Now, what was the motive in starting the Mr. October brand, and when did you actually go ahead and do that?
So I didn't start that until 2020.
Okay.
Because at the time, you couldn't, I think now you can make money off your likeness.
Oh, yeah.
But remember, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I wish I could have. I would have, if I was able to, I would have capitalized a lot on it, just because I was, in a sense, how some people say I was an overnight success.
Yeah.
So people would have ate that up,
So let me ask you this: does it ever affect you, kind of like, I'm an overnight success? Do you ever think like, why do people say that, or people don't really recognize how hard I worked for this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel no way about it, just because I've always just watched from afar from a lot of things. But they say that about everybody.
Yeah, true.
So it's not like, like they said LeBron was overnight success when he first got into the league. But he been working. So it's different things that, anytime somebody has success, they're gonna say it's overnight. So it's
that's
it's
crazy,
something that they're not gonna be like, oh no, I saw him working, because nobody see you working. They only see the success. You know what I'm saying? So it's never been something that I always laughed at it. It's funny because, like I said, every time somebody has success, they think it's overnight. So it's not nothing. It's not nothing you can control.
That's crazy. Yeah, you really can't control that. And it's like, dang, in all actuality, I've been working, but that is also what messes people's minds up in thinking that they can become an overnight success. Then when they really get into the process, they see, no, I gotta really work for this. Now we gotta take a second to shout out our sponsor, Toes Home Cleaning. If you ever need something cleaned up, Toes Home Cleaning got you 25% off with the Clap It Up LA discount. They clean up event spaces, homes, offices, whatever you need, Toes Home Cleaning got you. And you can find them at Toes Home Cleaning on Instagram and let them know that Clap It Up LA sent you. Now, then you have games where you pass for 275 yards and you rush for 146. You pass for 148, rush for 230. You went crazy. And through it all, you felt like you have always been labeled the underdog.
Yeah.
Okay? And you prove over and over again, I can beat you through the run, I can beat you through the pass. You pick your poison, whichever one you want. So why is it that you feel like you are the underdog?
I would say, I mean, it kind of goes back to just like my roots. So most of the time, right, you got a quarterback that's from Southern California or African American quarterback from Southern California. They don't, and with statistics, we don't pan out in a sense. Yeah. Which kind of like, I already know from the get-go, I'm underdog. Just from that aspect, because we haven't seen anybody yet or since that has had success that was an African American quarterback that was in Southern California that went somewhere and did well. You see it now, like you have Bryce Young who's at Alabama, and then DJ, he's ethnic also, he's at Clemson, but at that time it was kind of like, you guys haven't showed us anything. Yeah. So I knew the whole time that, it was kind of like a...
Oh, so you saying just every quarterback coming out of Cali got a chip on his shoulder.
Right. Because, just because most of other quarterbacks going to come from other places. Unless you go to SC, then it's kind of like, you got to work super harder. You got to work that much harder. So that definitely gave me confidence. Like I said, I'm having success and you still like, nah.
Still got something to say.
You know what I'm saying? You got success though. So it's like, what? They doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So for you to be like, nah, it's not going to, it's like, dang, like what? That's a lot of hatred. You know what I'm saying?
When did you realize that somebody's always going to have something to say no matter how good you do? Because that just come with it. They're going to always have something to say. You can't run from that. It's going to
I want to say I realized that a little bit in high school, but also mainly like really in college.
Okay.
Really in college. Because, after that month in October, people just like, is he gonna keep it going? I mean, which anybody's gonna feel like, that's what they're gonna say. But
jump into that,
that was definitely like a media thing, like, like all right, like basically like waiting to see me fall. Like that. That's that's everybody.
That's all they waiting on.
That's everybody. Other than the people that like were behind me and supporting me. Right. Everybody thing be like, all right, like how long they gonna last? Like they checking in to see how long, like if it's still working, like instead of like just supporting it, So.
And I'll never forget, like I said, I could not turn on ESPN without hearing Khalil Tate do something. I didn't even watch Arizona games prior to this. But because I heard his name so much, I started watching Arizona games because I wanted to see him too. I'm like, dang, is he really that cold? So going into your junior season, after your historic sophomore season, it's a lot of hype. You on the front cover of this here, Sports Illustrated, excuse me. This is my boy Khalil Tate right there holding the ball, letting you know he about to throw a 90-yard pass if you give him the opportunity. Oh, this right here is signed right here to Uncut Lounge Edition. You know what I'm saying? He signed that specifically for my boy Melly Mel. So when you do all of that, you make the Sports Illustrated cover. Right. Unfortunately, we have things called coaching changes. Okay, and you hear all of the time, because you came up with these coaches, you bonded with these coaches, you grew with these coaches, and you hear all the time how a player might be getting recruited, but they change the coaching. So now I don't know what I'm gonna do now. You know what I'm saying? Or when a player, sometimes the coaching changes lead somebody to completely leave the game all in all. So let me ask you this: how important do you feel the coaching staff plays in a player's outcome? Because a lot of the time people just see from somebody who may not play the game, a regular fan, they may just see, okay, well, he got a new coach, they listen to the hype from the media, but they don't really understand, okay, the bond that we have, the energy is not the same. Everything is different now. So how much of an impact do you think that coaches have on a player's impact on the game?
Yeah, I believe coaching changes is everything, just because like when you recruited, right? So even if you're in high school, college, when you recruited by a certain coach.
Right.
So that certain coach likes you. For whatever reason, he likes you for that reason. So if that coach is gone, you hope that the next coach likes you for that same exact reason, which is probably not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which makes it hard because the reason that you went somewhere, or a lot of people went somewhere, is because of that certain feeling. So when that feeling is gone, like I said, you gotta hope that another person has that same feeling, which is not realistic though. That's not, everybody different in that sense. So it's a lot. It's hard, you know, just because when you're recruited, you're 17 years old, 17, 18. You don't know a lot, you know, so you get picked to, you know, be out of school, or not picked, you choose to be out of school, and then it's kind of like, you know, once that coach leaves, it's like, well, what do I do now? So that's why, you know, picking my college, I didn't base it based off the coach. I based it, you know, based off my comfortability with the school. You know, I always start like, okay, knock on wood, say I get hurt, would I have fun? That was my main thing. Like that was I didn't want to go somewhere where, you know, a lot of people, they go somewhere, they get hurt, and it's like the world over.
Yeah, facts.
I can't have fun in school no more, you feel me? So I'm going, you know, so for me, it was like, if I get hurt, you know, God forbid, will I have fun? Like, will my college experience be fun? Because you only get to go to, you get to go to college how many times you want, really. But
like
you only get that experience once. So for me, it was like, will I have fun if I don't play football? And I, you know, took my visits and I was like, if I didn't play football, I have a lot of fun. Like, I have a fun experience. Nice place. Nice campus. Nice. I would have a fun experience. So that's how I picked. So that's why, you know, when we had our coaching change, it affected me a lot. You know, just because there were people that recruited me, and I had success. So, you know, it's not like I wasn't having success and then the coach left and it's like, okay, cool. It's like I had a lot of success with that coaching staff, and now they gone. So it's like now, with all of them being gone, I'm 18.
The entire offensive staff.
I'm 18. What do I do? Who do I look to? Who do I turn to? Who can I talk to that has been on a Sports Illustrated magazine before? That feels the pressures that I feel. So yeah, it was a lot. It was deep.
Now during those moments, like we said, the media, they take you up and they love to bring you down.
For sure.
How much of that got to your mind?
I think that's when I first started learning how strong the media is. Just because, like in high school, I didn't have that problem, or didn't have to go through that. My freshman year, you know, I was how I was, so I didn't go through that. Sophomore year, didn't really, but my junior year, and like after my sophomore year, that's when I kind of realized, like, oh, the media is a real, it's a thing. It's like it's a real thing. Like that's people's livelihood. So they getting paid to like try to jip you in a sense, you know, trying to get underneath you and see what, you know, what you could say. And I didn't realize that being that young, like I said, because I don't know nothing. It's not like I'm talking to different people that play quarterback that's from my city that's like, yeah, no, you should do this, do that. So I'm learning all on my own. Like literally going through situations on my own, and that kind of like you said, it made me grow up sooner. You know, so I had my mistakes here and there, but it definitely helped me, you know, so now I can, you know, help the younger guys now.
Yeah, and see, you grow through what you go through, you know, and in certain instances, that's your only option. And as we all understand, it's a cutthroat world out here, you know, and whether you like it or not, people to chew you up and spit you out as fast as they bring you in, you know, and you just got to adapt to it. Now, through it all, when you look back at your collegiate career, how proud of you of the accomplishments you made, and how much have you learned in order to help you succeed at the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super proud about it. You know, I don't think I've always been, you know, pretty humble, so I never thought about it at the time, but I think now that I'm done with college, or I've been removed from college for a year or two, I kind of understand what I did now, because I'm out of it.
Yeah.
So now I can look back like, okay, I did this. You know, because like I said, I've always been in the moment, so I never was like, I can't wait to, you know, I was always in the moment. You know, I felt how I felt at that time. So now it's like looking back, you know, I hear people talk about what I did in college. I'm just like, dang, I did. Like, I did do that. So it's definitely refreshing for me because, like I said, I've always been pretty humble to where I never, even in college, I wasn't like boasting and talking about it. I was kind of just having fun. So now it's like wow, like I did do that, you know, and it reminds me, you know, just to stay down and keep going, you know, just because people support you, you know, people support, you know, what they feel is real. So it definitely keeps me motivated.
Now, what people may not really understand is the dark moments, you know what I'm saying? We all go through them, and it's mentally. So how do you stay mentally sane and intact, you know, through the ups and the downs? And you know,
it's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like it's not easy. Like I was thinking last week, like nobody said it would be easy. Like out of everything I be thinking, well, I be going through, nobody I talked to that was older than me was ever like, yeah, it's gonna be easy, bro. Like, they never said nothing because they was going through, they battles on their own. But it's definitely, it's tough. I think it all depends on, the close-knit people that you have to you, which means a lot. They make or break you. So definitely having like a tight group of people that have your best interests, which is hard to see if they got your best interests or not, because it's an ill world we live in. But definitely just having people around you that you feel confident in that's what plays the most important role, because it's like you want to be able to, you can't do it alone.
Right.
I think it's the same as it takes a village. Literally though, like you can't. A king not a king by itself. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely takes time to build trust with different people that are around you and just have faith. That's another thing. You just gotta have faith in what you're doing and have a trust that what you're doing is right.
Right.
And always I think having pure intentions is always gonna help you with that, because when you got pure intentions, if things don't go well, it's like, okay, at least you was pure about it.
Right. And then another thing, in those situations, you learn who really loves you.
Right.
You learn who really cares for you.
Right.
So, like I said, we're going to clap it up again for my boy. A GOAT. You know what I mean? So, through everything, you were able and blessed to still be an undrafted free agent to the Eagles in the midst of the COVID pandemic.
Right.
Now, for everybody, because I really don't understand, because I understood, okay, well, they didn't have a preseason. Did they just keep everybody on a team? I don't really understand how it worked. So explain the situation with COVID and how it affected the draft class this year.
So last year, my draft class from last year, it affected a lot. I think for me, so they canceled pro days last year, which is how get your looks. A lot of people get their looks. I didn't get invited to the combine, which didn't help me in a sense. And then it's all right. Then I get picked up. And the summertime comes. Usually you have OTAs. Last year we didn't have OTAs, so everything is virtual. So basically from that time they picked me up, they still haven't seen me or anything. So then after OTAs you got training camp. But there's no preseason. So basically, like I don't know if it was the Hard Knocks last year, but like there couldn't have been one because it wasn't enough content. I feel like. But no, so July comes and then OTAs are over, and then now you're getting ready for like camp. And then if there's no preseason, there's really no need for a lot of those free agents, because that's how you seen Hard Knocks. That's how you make the team. That's how they had the stories of different people. So if you don't have preseason, a lot of those people are gone. So in my case, I was going out there, or I was planning on going out there, and they basically just told me like, we know you had a talent and everything, but due to the situation, COVID and everything like that, we're not gonna have time to work with you. Which I understood, because like I said, they wanted me to transition from quarterback to receiver, so it's like you need time. So if I was you, I probably would feel the same way. Like, I'ma just,
because you ain't,
So for me, it was good that after the season they hit me back up as soon as the last game was over. So that kind of gave me like they do like me.
It's something about me.
It did make sense. It's not like they said that in July and then was like, all right, and then moved on. They kind of kept their word and was like, we do like you, but due to the numbers and COVID and things of that nature, it's not gonna work right now. So when they called me back in January, it was kind of like refreshing, because it was like it was meaningful, because like, all right, they do like me. I do have a talent. You know what I'm saying? So it was helpful.
So what was your thought process in between being waived and coming back? And did you feel like, all right, hey, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. So I mean, for my whole life, right? I mean, like y'all know, it's we playing Pop Warner in high school, college. And
you were a star at that.
But without that, from August to December, you doing something. You got practice. I didn't have no practice. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't on the team. So that was my first August through December that I was at home. I was able to watch. I didn't even want to watch football like that, but just that was my first time that I was able to just do nothing for my whole life. I've been playing since I was 4 years old. So for that experience right there, it's just like, I'm home for my birthday. I haven't been home for my birthday in years. You know what I'm saying? But little things like that, that really, you know, it got tough, you know, just because it was so new to me, you know, in the midst of COVID and everything. So it's not like I could do something to have fun. It's like quarantine, you know what I'm saying? So it was tough, you know. It was a long 4 months, long 4 months. So, you know, I made sure that the people I had around me, you know, they had my best interests, you know, make sure that they just, you know, still believed in me, you know, which was important, because if I didn't have them, and then it was like, who was gonna believe in me?
Yeah, no, I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. He said for the first time, he had nothing to do.
Literally.
Between, that's crazy.
Like no school or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is, to think about it, it's like, dang, so you wasn't doing nothing. Like I was working out, just waiting on the call. But it's like I didn't want to get a job. It's like, if I get a job,
that for
what
sure
if I get a call?
That for sure wasn't gonna make you happy.
Exactly. What if I get a call? Like, you know, it was too much. So it was literally just wait.
Yeah.
Just
wait.
Sit down. Be patient. You remember, which I hadn't had to do my whole life. So I think it was definitely a humbling experience to.
And that's when you got to really reflect and everything.
Yeah, like that's when I really got to just. I think I grew a lot mentally, because I feel like a lot of times being an athlete, or not even just being an athlete, just being anybody that's like a high roller. If you don't go through something that's humbling, you kind of gonna just
you can fall off the edge.
You're gonna end up crashing out, because it's gonna be like you never went through it. You know what I'm saying? Like you never went through like a downtime. It was always like up here.
Yeah.
So for me, it was what I needed, because like I said, it helped me tap into my mental.
Dang,
it helped me. It helped me really understand that, like, I'm more than a football player, which is that's when I started the Mr. October brand, you know, just to, you know, get some revenue going. But it was definitely a very humbling experience. Like I said, going from the cover of Sports Illustrated,
Heisman hopeful,
the different accolades like that, and then being at home. Yeah. So it was a tough time. But, you know, I definitely, like I said, just keeping the people I had around me was important. That was important, because if I didn't have them, then I don't know where I would have been.
Dang, that's crazy. Because, you know, as an athlete, we all go through that mental place when it's like the game is over. What's going on in my life? Right. But thankfully, my boy has gotten another shot. Right. And we know you're going to do everything you got to do. For sure. Because when you got to sit back in those moments, that just developed that hunger. Like, you about to get out there and be like, I ain't finna let nothing stop me. I don't care what come my way. I'm going all out. Right. And that's what you got to understand about those moments. Sometimes it's just a blessing that you really don't pick up on until you're able to sit down and allow God to do what you need to do in your mind. And once God wake you up, you ready for it again.
The thing is, too, you got to let that happen, though.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, because a lot of people try to fight it. Yeah. Because, like, early on, I was fighting it, but it was like, I realized, like, I can't fight this. Like, I'm one person, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a crash out trying to fight it, you know? So I think, as it sucks, but, like, you got to let it happen. But, in a sense.
Right. Then again, you got to think about his career. Right. Every time you've had this moment, he goes stupid. Right. When he get the opportunity, he goes dumb. You go crazy. So y'all better be, hey, he gonna make some noise because he just had another moment, and this time it was a little longer and he couldn't do nothing about it. So y'all make sure y'all tap in to Khalil Tate, Mr. October. He gonna do his thing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm wishing you the best of luck for that. This is Clap It Up LA. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Share this as many times as y'all can. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that Khalil Tate's story is heard. And y'all make sure that y'all let them know that Clap It Up LA, you got it exclusively from here. Let them know something real quick, man.
Hey, man. And, you know, everybody go through things, you know, regardless if you're an athlete or actor, entertainer. Regardless, you're going to go through a lot of things, which is, you know, you can't deny that. You know, you could try to not go through some things, but it's like, that's not real life. So, you know, you're going to go through things, and just make sure that the people that you have around you are pure. That's the most important thing, because if you don't have those people around you, then it's not going to last very long. So make sure that, you know, the people that are around you have your best interests. You know, and it takes time to know if somebody got your best interests. You know what I'm saying? You don't just figure out in a day or two. You know, it takes time. So just keep people around you that are, you know, good people. You know, be grateful. Be grateful. You know, stay safe. Just be happy. You know, just live. You know, show love. I think that's one of the most important things. Show love and support. Support regardless. You know, even if it's not the cool thing to do, you gotta support. You know, just because if you was doing it, you want somebody to support you. So just show support and just be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just get all that hate about your heart. You feel me? Just be good to people, and everything gonna happen how it's supposed to.
Hey, yeah, there you have it right there.
Right.
Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
In a real way.
Because I can tell you right now, Khalil Tate about to make some noise.
Right.
We out. Clap it up.